Your marriage changed after the betrayal. And honestly, maybe you did too. When betrayal happens in a marriage, the pain hits differently. You are not just dealing with what your spouse did, you are dealing with what it did to the entire life you thought you were building. It impacts the home, the vows, the memories, the future you pictured, and the very version of the marriage you thought you were standing inside of. That is why healing after a marital betrayal can never be reduced to a simple question like, are you staying or leaving? Right now, you might just be trying to figure out how to breathe, how to stop replaying the details, and how to understand what peace even looks like anymore. If you have been asking what actually helps you heal after deep disappointment in a marriage, we need to slow that question down. Healing does not begin with pretending you are okay, rushing forgiveness, or forcing a permanent decision while your emotions are completely flooded. It begins when you stop abandoning yourself just to keep the marriage looking stable. But that is an incredibly hard thing to admit because when a marriage is on the line, the outside pressure is staggering. You feel the pressure to forgive, the pressure to protect the family, the pressure to hide the truth, and the pressure to move on before your heart has even caught up to what happened. But betrayal does not just break trust with your spouse, it breaks trust with your own sense of safety. Your mind turns inward, replaying old conversations and digging up details you thought you ignored. You start asking yourself if you were blind, if you were foolish, or if you made it too easy for them to hurt you. I want you to hear this clearly. Their betrayal is not proof that something is wrong with you. It is proof that something deeply painful happened that your mind and body now have to process. In my work, people often tell me, I just want to heal. But what they usually mean underneath that is, I want to stop feeling like this marriage took parts of me I do not know how to get back. To get those parts back, healing has to begin with absolute honesty. First, give yourself permission not to know everything right now. You do not have to know if the marriage can be rebuilt, if trust will return, or if you even want to stay. Sometimes the first step is not a massive life decision, it is simple stabilization. Can you sleep? Can you eat? Can you get through today without spiraling? Betrayal has a way of making urgency feel like clarity, but they are not the same thing. Urgency says, I have to figure out my entire life today. Clarity says, I need to slow down so I can hear my own voice again. Second, you must separate what happened from the self blame. After a betrayal, self blame becomes a second injury. Your mind turns on you because if you can find the mistake in yourself, the world feels less random and terrifying. But self punishment does not heal the wound, it keeps you trapped inside it. Reflection asks, what do I need to understand to protect myself better? Self punishment says, this happened because I was not enough. One leads to wisdom, while the other leads to shame. Third, you have to start asking a better question. Do not just ask, can this marriage survive? Start asking, can I heal in this marriage without losing myself? That question changes the entire game. Too often, people are so consumed with saving the marriage that they forget to check if they are actually safe inside of it. Rebuilding a marriage cannot be built on your silence. It cannot be built on pretending. And it cannot be built on the betrayed partner doing all the emotional heavy lifting while the person who caused the wound waits for things to feel normal again. A marriage can survive betrayal, but survival is not the same as healing. Healing requires consistent changed behavior, not just emotional speeches. It requires space for you to grieve without being rushed into being okay. Your healing cannot depend entirely on whether your spouse finally becomes the person they should have been before they hurt you. At some point, the shift has to be about you. What boundaries do you need to feel safe? What truth are you no longer willing to ignore? You are not weak because you are still affected by this. You are not dramatic because trust is slow to return. And you are never selfish for wanting a peace that includes you and not just the survival of the marriage. The real goal is to become honest enough to see what healing requires from this point forward. Maybe that means rebuilding together, or maybe that means rebuilding separately. But whatever that path becomes, do not disappear inside the pressure to make everything okay for everyone else. Your nervous system matters. Your self-trust matters. Betrayal may change your marriage, but it does not get to define the rest of your life. If this helped you feel seen today, please like the video and subscribe for more betrayal recovery support. And if you recognize yourself in this exhaustion and need help slowing the pain down, click the link below to book a betrayal recovery readiness call. We will look at what changed in you, what you have been carrying, and exactly what rebuilding trust in yourself looks like from here. Healing is not just about what happens to the relationship. It is about what happens to you. You deserve to come back to yourself.